Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Deep Vision channel. I'm your host, Deepak. I am an entrepreneur, astrologer, life coach, digital coach, and many other things. Okay, so today I want to cover a topic in astrology which is actually very, very important. It's one of the most important um, placements in your chart. And if you know more about this, it will help you like chart a path to great happiness, to get great productivity, and achieve a lot in your life. Okay, do you want to know what that is? It is the placement of Rahu and Ketu in your chart. Some of you who may know a little bit about astrology, or at the very least, like looked at your horoscope, consulted an astrologer, you may have heard of Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu are two malefics, bad planets, if you will, right, in your chart. And wherever they are placed, people think, people say that it's very bad. Like, let's say Rahu is in your seventh house, or Ketu is in your seventh house. If Ketu is in your seventh house, they may say that you will never get married or you will get divorced, right? If Rahu is there, people may say that you are a womanizer. Generally, they are associated with bad things, right? As malefics, people are always afraid of malefics. Now, I am here to tell you that even though there is some truth to it, it's not entirely wrong. It's actually not that bad. Like there's a reason why they produce some bad results, and I'll give you techniques on how to overcome those bad results. I'll try to tell you what it actually means, like what your chart is trying to tell you about yourself. Okay? So let's start with like what Rahu and Ketu signify. Okay, so Ketu signifies an idea of separation. Like Ketu is, the mythical being without a head, right? Right? Um, and Rahu is the head of the serpent, if you will, right? So Ketu is the headless one, Rahu is the one without a body. So Rahu is greedy, Ketu is Ketu lashes out without because it cannot see, it doesn't have a head. So, in a nutshell, what it means is Ketu denies and Rahu makes you greedy. So that's a good way of looking at it. Now, another thing to note is Ketu, the position of Ketu in your chart signifies that whatever that placement is, for example, whatever house Ketu is in, that's something you are already an expert on. Like you know everything there is to know. You are an expert in the matters relating to that house. Okay, so in your past lives, past like incarnations, you have already achieved a lot. You have learned whatever there is to learn in the house that Ketu is in. Rahu, it's the opposite. That's why in your chart, Rahu and Ketu are always 180 degrees apart. Like if Rahu is in first house, Ketu will be always in the seventh house. If Rahu is in the fifth house, Ketu will be in the 11th house. Right? So Rahu is the opposite. Rahu signifies what you are here in this world right now to accomplish. Like it's your job to focus on like whatever placement Rahu is in. And I am going to make a series of videos talking about every possible placement of Rahu and Ketu and tell you what that means. Okay, so we are going to start with Rahu in the first house and Ketu in the opposite, right? 180 degrees. Ketu in the seventh house. Now, Ketu in the seventh house signifies that, first of all, what's the seventh house? Seventh house in a chart is a house of partnerships. It's the house of any partnership like marriage, business partnership, friendships, um, you know, actually, yeah. So I was going to say something, but that's fine. Let's, we can table that for the time being. Um, so it's your business partners, it's the way you interact with other people, it's the relationships that you have with other people. That's the seventh house. Now, Ketu, as I said, denies, right? Why does it deny? In this place, in this placement rather, and you will see that if you have this placement, you will know this. You will be very good with dealing with people. You are excellent with relationships. You are the person that people always want to be with, confide in you, because you know how to make them feel good. You are an expert in that already, right? So you may have a lot of relationships, friendly relationships with the, opposite sex, or um, like business partners. You'll do very well with people. You, if taken to an extreme, you will become a people pleaser. Like you, because you know how to make people feel good, right? You will be an expert, and people will come to you to the point where you will neglect yourself. In taking care of other people, you will neglect to focus on yourself and how to make yourself better, right? So, like whatever desires and wishes that you have, you will tend to suppress them and focus instead all your energy on other people, okay? And make them feel better, make them feel happy. You will ensure that their feelings are not hurt, even at the expense of your own feelings. Like, so you may think, oh my God, this person is so boring, but I don't want to, hurt their feelings. So I'm going to listen to whatever they're talking about, whatever BS that they are, spewing, just so that, their feelings are not hurt, right? So you suppress what you really want inside and focus on others. Another thing that you might end up doing is you will tend to become more dependent, more and more dependent on other people, on your partners. Like literally, you will be at a state where you won't take any action on your own. You will want consensus. You like everybody, consensus is a good thing, but when taken to an extreme, when you're paralyzed, right? And you don't move forward until you have the support of everybody. You depend on their support to get things done. You need people in your life always, like you can't be alone. So that's a characteristic of Ketu in the seventh. Okay, these people are, very good with developing and maintaining relations, that it's hard for them to be autonomous, to be independent. And that is where Rahu comes in. Rahu, if you remember, is in the first house. First house is what? Yourself, right? It's all about you, your ego, your personality, your body, your physique, your your sense of being. Basically, first house is you. So, what Rahu is trying to tell you by being in the first house is that you should focus on yourself, your well-being, your spiritual and physical well-being, you know, things like that. Now, one thing to be careful, remember Rahu is a malefic, right? So, when people say Rahu in the first house is bad, what do they mean? What they mean is Rahu is puts you in a place where you are not confident about yourself. And that's what it does. Because think about it, right? Ketu is where you are an expert. Rahu is where you don't have the self-confidence. Like you want internally, if you have this placement, you know what I'm talking about. You actually want to be independent. You want to be a trailblazer. but somehow you don't have the confidence. Rahu is the one that creates that slippery slope where you are like, I want to do this, but I cannot. Like, I don't have the confidence. I am afraid that I'll fail. So what ends up happening is sometimes you build up a fake confidence. Like, you've heard of the saying, fake it till you make it, right? So you may muster up some courage, but internally you will always feel insecure, right? So that's what Rahu does to you. It may give you some success initially, but because of the lack of confidence, you will, probably fail a few times. And that's okay. So what Rahu is trying to do here is it's trying to give you a base to stand on. It's telling you, it's giving you that feeling, when they say Rahu is greedy, it makes you crave the independence, the autonomous, things that you need to develop, the qualities that you need to develop in order for you to make it on your own, to be independent and achieve something on your own without the help of other people. Now, in the starting of this video, I told you that I'll give you some techniques. Now, for people with this placement, Rahu in the first, Ketu in the seventh, think of this, right? It's okay to be a little selfish. I know selfish is kind of a bad word. Nobody, you won't hear anybody telling you that, hey, be more selfish. But, but I am telling you that in this case, you have to almost be, you have to think of yourself because that's what you are here in this world to do in this lifetime, right? So be the trailblazer that you can be, right? Think about yourself first, and it's okay. Like, because of Ketu in the seventh, you will never be a total jerk, and you should never be a total selfish jerk. Also, it's understood. However, or never, it's okay to put yourself in the back seat sometimes, but not all the time. And it's actually for people with this placement, you have to put yourself in the front seat. Now, I'm not saying that you need to start leading people. You can if you want to, right? But that is in the 10th house. We'll come to that later. This is the first house where you have to be self driven. You have to take charge of your destiny. If you have something that you want to accomplish, you make sure that you do it. Okay? Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below, and I'll try to get to that. And if you like this content, please consider subscribing to this channel. Okay? Thank you. Until next time.